Well, autumn's finally here and it's starting to get a bit cold outside, but that doesn't mean that we've got to stop growing. And today on Grow It, I've got an absolute load of different things to show you that you can start growing now in October. So let's get cracking. So we're doing things a bit differently this month then. It's just to group things together so it's a bit more easy for you to decide which ones that you want to do yourself. And obviously that depends on the space you've got available, whether you've got a garden or a greenhouse or a patio or a balcony. And hopefully this will make it a bit easier to pick out the ones that you want to grow yourself. So first I'll show you the flowers that you can sow directly into the ground right now. First up today we've got a regular flower for autumn sowing, and that's cornflowers. And I recommend these every month because they're really, really nice. And they grow to maybe around 75 centimetres tall, and they have single deep blue flower heads that are 3 to 4 centimetres across. You can still sow cornflower seeds now in October in well-drained soil in a sunny position to have loads of flowers in early May next year. And these are ideal to sow in with your marigolds for a blue and orange contrasting display. And next up is another regular, which is for sowing from late summer right through into autumn, and that's poppies. Poppies form solitary, long-stalked, yellow, orange or red flowers depending on the variety. They're followed by conspicuous long seed pods, and poppies tend to be a vigorous bushy plant, and they grow to around 30 centimetres tall and up to 7 centimetre wide flowers. Like a lot of the late sowing varieties, poppies like full sun to make the most of the shorter days and benefit from being in a sheltered position. Poppies thrive in poor, well-drained soil, so they're ideal for any garden or space because they'll pretty much grow anywhere. The one thing to keep in mind is that they do need full sun for the flowers to actually open, so put them in a nice position and you'll get loads of flowers next year. One of the best things I can recommend for you to do at this time of year is to get a wildflower seed mix, and these normally come in like big boxes for like £2 or something, and you can start blasting them out everywhere and make your own wildflower seed meadow. These seed mixes usually include cornflowers and poppy seeds that we've just looked at, so they're a really good way to sow a lot of seeds in one go with a mixture of flowers emerging. And by making a small area garden available for sowing a wildflower mix and allowing it to grow, you can provide a hugely beneficial resource for pollinators such as bees and butterflies, so I can't recommend this one enough. So next let's go in the other greenhouse and have a look what we can start growing in there. And next up we've got hollyhocks, and these are really easy to grow and these will usually spread themselves around your garden really easily, so these are a good one to start now. They have tall upright stems and they carry large flowers in white, pink, cream, apricot or dark red, alternating with rough textured leaves. Some hollyhocks even have double flowers, and hollyhocks will grow in most soils, including both heavy and dry soils, in full sun. They're well known for finding cracks in paving and at the base of walls where they can establish and create displays of colour from unexpected areas. One thing to keep in mind when you're choosing where to grow your hollyhocks is that you need to make sure that they've got some sun and they're not in too much of an exposed area because the wind can blow them over, so it's best to make sure that they've got a bit of support and maybe a bit of protection from wind. And the good thing is that they're also fully hardy after the second year of sowing. And next up we've got sweet peas. When choosing between sweet peas and the perennial alternative Lathyrus, the main decision is whether or not scent is important to you, and then whether you'd prefer an annual or a perennial plant. Most sweet peas are highly scented, so if that is something that you're looking for, that's a really good option for your garden, whereas if you're not too bothered about them smelling that much, the Lathyrus is a good option because they're perennial and they'll keep coming back every year. Sweet peas do only live for 1 year, they do die off once they've set seed, but the good news is that they are really, really easy to grow, so it's not a problem to either collect your own seeds or just get some more next year and start growing them all over again. Most Lathyrus plants are climbers, so it's best to support them with canes or netting. You can sow annual sweet peas either from now in October into November or late January to April and plant them out in April. Pot sowing is generally more reliable than direct sowing, but both are an option. If you're sowing them now in autumn, you can increase the chances of early flowers by keeping your seedlings in a cold frame or a cold greenhouse during the winter months, just to prevent the seedlings from becoming leggy. And when it comes to sowing your sweet pea seeds, it's a really good idea to use some kitchen roll tubes, and I'll show you how right now. So here we go, here's a kitchen roll tube, and all you need to do with this, cut it in half, and then when you've got your two little sections here, all I'm going to do, cut a piece there. I'm going to do 4 of those, sort of one on each side. And then next all you need to do with that bit, fold it in there, and you're sort of just making a little bottom on your tube there. Don't worry about it, it's going to be going in a tub anyway, so it doesn't need to be like fixed or anything. That's absolutely fine like that. And then as you can see there, you've got like a little cardboard plant pot. So just do this with this one again. 4 cuts. like that. Fold them in. There we go. And there we go. 2 little plant pots. And then next, just gonna get some of these little plastic tubs. Got 3 of those, so yeah, I'll make a load of these. Start with the one. You've just got to wedge them in there like that. There you go. Let's get a few more of these done. There we go. And there's one lot of 6. Absolutely smashing. Just do another 2 of these. And there we go, that's smashing, and all I've got to do now is fill these up with some soil. And the best thing about doing it this way is that once these have grown and they're ready to go out next year, you can just pop these straight out of the box and put them straight in the ground without disturbing the roots, because obviously it's made of cardboard and it's going to decompose, and the roots are quite happy to just grow down out the bottom, they'll grow out the sides. Yeah, they'll be growing everywhere. So this is what I did my sweet corn this year, and that turned out absolutely fantastic. And it works really good for doing peas and anything really. So yeah, I really recommend doing this, and save up your cardboard tubes all year, and they'll come in handy when the time comes. Smash him. So I'll just get some compost in these right now, and then I'll move on to the seeds. You know what, it's probably easy to take them out, put the compost in and then stick them in. Don't know why I didn't think of that. So there we go, that's all 18 of them, and they are ready to go. So all we need now is the seeds, and I've got these ones. I picked these up when I was in B&Q last week getting the bulbs for the other video. And yeah, they look all right. I mean, we've got 18 a pack, so there's plenty of them. A bit more expensive than I would have liked to have spent on a pack of seeds, but you know, what can you do? Let's get these in. I've got plenty of these, so I'll probably do a couple more of these, and I'll probably just put some straight in the ground as well. So let's get cracking. Oh, there we go. So there is your seeds, and as you can see, they're sort of like small peppercorns, I suppose is the best way to describe them. Yeah, they all look quite nice. So let's get these stuck in. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to put one in each of these little tubes, and then cover it over. Just give it a bit of a poke down. There we go. Alternatively, you can just put 2 in each of these. I normally just like doing 1, so I feel like they go further. But you can put 2 in each one, and then just pull out the weaker of the 2 and let the stronger seedling grow on. And there we go, that's all there is to it. So they're all done now. Super easy job, and all I need to just do is give them all a bit of a watering. Sweet peas have got a hard shell, so they do like a bit of water at the start, just to soften it up and give them the best chance of growing. And don't worry about your cardboard getting wet, because it'll just dry out again. And it's also a really good indicator of how damp the soil is inside. So yeah, really recommend these, and they're really good for gauging how much water you need to put on your plants. So next I'm going to have a look at some bulbs, and we'll start with daffodils, which are the most popular spring flowering bulb. And these come back year after year, and they don't need very much attention at all. Daffodils grow really well in borders or containers, or even just under your grass, and with having so many different colours and varieties and flower shapes available, they're a really good option for bringing tons of colour to your garden in spring. They mainly originate in southern Europe and North Africa, although there is a British native species called Narcissus, Sweden narcissus. Daffodils have been widely cultivated for centuries, resulting in the vast range now available, with various flower shapes, sizes and colours. Most are hardy, low maintenance and long lived, and they suit almost every style of garden, growing well in containers as well as in the ground. Daffodils are sold as dry bulbs, and they normally come into the shops in late summer into early autumn, and they come in a big bag like this, just a big bag of dry bulbs, or they might come in a smaller pack depending on the variety and depending what shop you get them from. But yeah, I like getting them in a big bag like this, and then I've got loads. Put these in now and they'll be coming up in spring next year. And next up we've got tulip bulbs, which is another one of the most popular flower bulbs because of the massive range of different colours and shapes that they come in. Tulips make ideal bedding plants, combined with annual or biennial planting. Tulips can also be used for containers, and some varieties can be naturalised in grass, Tulips grow best in fertile, well-drained soil in full sun, sheltered from strong winds. Like other bulbs, they dislike excessively wet conditions, and this is particularly true with alpine species which require excellent drainage. Tulip bulbs prefer a neutral to alkaline soil pH, so if your pH is less than 6.5, ideally you want to treat that with some lime. And if you're not sure on soil pH or what it means or how to treat it, I have done another video which I'll make sure there's a link in the description so that you can go and check that out and make sure that your soil is ideal for the plants that you're trying to grow. And if you are planning on planting some bulbs, when you finish this video, make sure you check out the video I did last week where I compared loads and loads of different value bulbs. I went to like Lidl, Aldi, B&Q, Poundland, and I got an absolute ton of bulbs. I got tulips, iris, alliums, and I compared all the different bulbs based on the price, and then I show you how to plant them in the ground and how to do some containers as well. So it's well worth having a look, and I'll make sure there's a link in the description for that video as well. And it's not all about flowers when it comes to bulbs. There's also onions, and they are absolutely fantastic to put in now, and you can do them either in seeds for over winter, or you can put your sets in as well for your early harvest next year. If you are using seeds, you can sow the onions in rows and you can thin them out once they've grown to resemble small spring onions, which will allow the strongest seedlings to grow on into the winter. You can use these in salad or cooking, just like a chive or a spring onion. And you can also grow them from sets, which are like small little dry onion bulbs, and you can get a net of these from the shop, and they only cost like a couple of quid. So you get a pack of them now and get them in, and that'll give you a bit more of a head start from growing from seeds. So either way is really good. I put seeds in myself, but I probably might get a few onion sets myself and just put them in as well, just to be safe. And next up we've got garlic, which is really easy to grow, and if you grow these in a sunny site, you'll have absolutely tons of garlic next year. Garlic needs to go through a period of chilling to stimulate it into leaving its embryonic phase of dormancy, so it's best planted in the late autumn or early winter. However, some cultivars can be planted in early spring. I did do a video on how to plant garlic a couple of weeks ago, so I'll make sure there's a link to that one as well, so you can go back and get some tips for growing an absolute ton of garlic for next year. You can also carry on sowing your lettuces and indoor peas at this time of year, especially in early October, maybe not towards the end of the month. Keep an eye on the weather. If it is going to be mild, then crack on with them. And then finally this month we've got green manures. We use the term green manures to describe fast-growing plants that we sow to cover bare soil. They're best used in the vegetable garden, and the foliage smothers out weeds, and the root systems prevent soil erosion over winter. And the best thing about them is that they fix nitrogen and they contain an absolute ton of it. So come next year, you just dig them straight into the floor, you turn them over into your soil, and as they rot down, they bring all that nitrogen into your soil, which makes it absolutely fantastic and improves it dramatically. Green manures are usually sown in late summer or autumn, and they absorb any nutrients that have been left over in the soil, preventing them from being washed away by the winter rain. Winter grazing rye and winter tares are hardy green manures that will carry on growing all winter before being incorporated back into your soil in spring. I'm not going into loads of detail today on green manure because I'm doing a full-length video on it next week. So if you want to check that out, maybe subscribe to my channel just so that you don't miss it and so that you can check out all of my other videos as well. And if this video's helped or if you've got some suggestions, let me know in the comments because I'd love to hear from you, and I'll see you next time.